Hello and welcome to Magical Maiden's Vlogs. I'm Magical Maiden. So hello, today I'm doing part 3, and now if you haven't seen 1 and 2 of my neighbor's son harassing us, go ahead and watch them now, because otherwise you're going to be lost and not know what I'm talking about. It's like reading the last 2 pages of a book or 5 minutes of a movie. You're going to want to know what I'm talking about. So you definitely want to go watch those 1 and 2. You're definitely going to want to watch 1 and 2 before you watch this one. And it's all in my Everyday Vlogs playlist. Okay, so I'm just going to move my microphone, which you can't really see unless I go like that. So yeah, I do have my cozy little backgrounds. Every day I look for a little. I like the videos, but sometimes I use pictures just to feel cozy. Now, it was raining yesterday, and a little bit the day before, but now the sun came out. It was kind of cloudy, but I still feel that rainy mood. So it's a little damp and chilly. So gotten to I haven't gotten to the part 3. And part 3 is going to be about what he did to the neighbors. Okay? So again, if you haven't seen 1 and 2, being harassed by my neighbor's son. So go ahead and check that out. Okay. So where I left off, I explained the whole situation because I had 2 videos up last year. And I had put it up there because I had a fight with my sister and everything else. She lives next door. But now we're talking and all that stuff. So the girl that lives the couple that lives next door to my sister, 2 houses down from us, there's our house, my sister's, and then the other lady. She told the story about what happened. So there used to be some other lady living next door, and then she moved out, and some other girl, single mother with her, I guess, 14-year-old son moved in. And I noticed it was odd that she was here. She moved in October, and she was here a lot. And she seemed a little friendly, not too friendly, but she just moved in. And then she was here through November, and I remember she had people over for Thanksgiving, and they sat outside. Remember, I live in the South, but it does get cold, but it was a nice, beautiful day, and they ate dinner out in the back and all that stuff. But what happened was, after a while, she just wasn't there. Like, let's see, December, I didn't see her much around Christmas time at all. And I began to wonder, but I figured it was Christmas time. She does hair. She's probably at a salon. She's probably with her family. Christmas time, busy. But anyway, like, she was there less and less. And she had 2 dogs. One was a bigger one. He started out as a puppy when she moved in, but within a few months, it's one of those Labradoodles. They get big. And she had another little tiny dog. Labradoodle got bigger. She just kicked it outside and she would leave it there. And that poor dog was out there, like, she had a little igloo dog house, and she would put a heat lamp out there, but she would leave him and it would be cold and rainy and windy and miserable. And that poor dog would be barking. So we left a note on her door. She had like a ring thing, so she knew it was us, saying, "Your dog is barking. Do something about it," because it wasn't stopping. And then the people that lived next door to my sister felt bad for the dog. They would like reach over and notice that there was no water and give the dog water and food, because they have dogs. I don't have dogs, so I would just feel bad, and I would pet him over my fence and just talk to him. Even though his barking was driving us crazy, I felt bad. So I was like, this lady's a jerk. And I didn't understand it, because then she only lived there for maybe a few months, and she was hardly ever there anymore. And she was only coming to, like, I guess, check on the dog after we left the note, and then she would leave. So she'd be there for maybe an hour. Sometimes she would bring the kid, but most of the time she brought her boyfriend, I guess a new boyfriend, and then she wasn't there anymore. And I found out why. So now I don't know because I really didn't see the interaction, but I did notice that when she moved in, Dancing Donnie, and if you watch my other two, you know what I mean, he would go over the fence by the driveway, because there's her driveway, there's a fence, and then there's backyard. And he usually stood there and put his head on the fence and just stared. Usually it was at us, but now he was staring at her. And I did see him walk a few times up and down, staring at her and saying something, but I just said, better them than us. But this is before our altercation with him. So I was just like, okay, so what's going on over there, right? And just like staring at it. He was just like staring and saying a few things, but I really didn't pay too much attention. And I know he was talking to the kid and then saying stuff for her. Anyway, I noticed that after a while, like, there was less and less of her. But Dancing Donnie was still staring whenever she would come by, and then he would like walk. And one time he was just like standing there in front of her house. And I was like, what the hell is he doing? But we were busy. I think we had to go shopping for groceries, and I didn't really pay attention. Anyway, I noticed that within a few months, there was I heard that there was she didn't have a for sale sign, but I heard that she was going to move and sell the house. And I'm like, huh, that's weird. So I was like, she just moved in. And I thought that was just strange. And then someone said, well, because then a few months later, I realized she was pregnant, and she said she was just going to move in with her boyfriend. So I heard. And so I was like, okay, that's strange. And then I remember talking to Dancing Donnie's mother, because at that time it was before our altercation. And she's like, well, because I said, she isn't really friendly, and I can't believe she's moving out so soon. I hardly really saw her. And she left her poor dog in the back. And she's like, yeah, I know. She threatened her son. We'll call him Dancing Donnie. That's not his name, but just like she threatened him and said that he was staring and whatever, and her boyfriend came out with a gun. She goes, I didn't like it. I was like, really? I was like, wow, I didn't know that. I just said, and I really didn't think much of it. So anyway, the girl that lives next door to my sister said that the reason, that's not what happened. What happened was Dancing Donnie was walking by and kept yelling weird things to her, like, I want you to have my seedlings, and saying things to her. And then, she felt uncomfortable with this weird guy that was always staring, and then her 14-year-old son playing out in the front. So she didn't feel comfortable, and she just kept saying, leave me alone. And he would like stand there and be like, because that's what he does. And he's weird. So, and when he would get drunk, he would do it more so. So I guess what happened was when she got her boyfriend, so one day he wouldn't stop staring. He kept back coming and saying things. So her boyfriend came over, and he was pissed off. He was actually in the house, and Dancing Dottie didn't know that. And he came out, and I guess he had a gun. And said, look, you come around here anymore, you're going to get shot. Just stay away from here. Leave my girlfriend alone, leave her son alone, stay out of here. So he ran in and told his mother that they threatened him. He wasn't doing anything. He was just walking. So that's what he does. He lies and makes it like he's innocent, and he runs to his mommy. Now he's a 40-year-old man, and his mother comes out and starts yelling. And that's exactly what she did with us. Knowing full well that he's mentally ill, knowing full well that he's a drunk, and this is at the time where he was starting to drink a little more than usual. And so what happened was then she, was acting all weird. So anyway, the mother went over there and started yelling, put a gun in my son. You're threatening me. He has the right. He's just walking. He's not on your property. He's just standing here. But that's what he does. He stands across the street or on the street, but he won't come onto your property because he knows. And he'll just stand there and he'll harass you basically and try to use intimidation. And then when you call him out on it, he runs to his mommy. And then she comes out. And she shouldn't. She should tell him to just get in and leave people alone because she knows it's him. I'm pretty sure that before she even moved here, that she had issues from wherever she came from because she lived in a different state. I forget where, but another state. So she probably had issues there as well. So, and she probably had apartments. And that's probably why she bought a house this time so that she wouldn't have to go through what she went through before. I don't really know. Anyway, so what happened was they got into a big altercation over that. And then they just said, if you do it again, I have a gun here, or I'm going to call the police. You stay away. I don't care. You keep your son out of here. You stay away from us, and there was a big argument. And then the girl next door said that next door to my sister, she said that one time he tried to take something off of her porch because he didn't like it. And she was like, she called because she has her cameras and she saw him coming up and she opened the door and said, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I don't like that. I'm taking it down." And then she's like, "You're not, get out of here." And her husband went out and that's it. And then I think there was another altercation with a few other people in the neighborhood and they can't stand him. Kept it a secret from us. She turned it around when we were still on a friendly basis and talking, and she always made it like it was somebody else did this, somebody else did that. And I was like, oh, I didn't really know. Watch, because he was drunk and he'd dance around, and at first it was like no big deal. You know what I mean? It was like it was no big deal because he wasn't bothering us. He wasn't coming over to our property. He wasn't harassing us at the time. It was just that his garbage was building up and we get to see it because our living room's here and you can't help it. I sit on the couch right by the window and I can see everything. And it's like you see that mountain of garbage building. And because he lived outside. And if you watch the other two, you'll know the whole story. So you'll understand. So he really, he pretty much just would make a mess. And he used to wear headphones, so we didn't have to be subjected to his music. He listens to gangster rap and he thinks he's a Crip, more like a Crip keeper. He tells everybody like, yeah, I'm with the Crips. He's not. And more like the Crip keepers. And I'm like, come on, man. And he's really skinny because all he does is drink alcohol and smoke cigarettes. So, a wind could blow him down. And so basically there was all this craziness going on with them and that I didn't know about because, I'm not sitting there. And according to her, all we do is sit there and watch him because we're obsessed with him. But he's the one who's obsessed with us because every time he would come over, he would be staring at us and waiting to start something. But now since he made buddy with my nephew, who I don't talk to either because I explained that I had an argument with him many times. I'm done with him. And he made friends with the jerk across the street. And they're both idiots that like to drink. And I'm not going to put up with it. Both of them are on probation. Both of them have been arrested multiple times. They have a long arrest record. Both of them, when they drink, they become idiots. And they know better. They're both supposed to be on medication. They're not. But I'm done with my nephew. I told him that's it. And so we're not talking anymore. And my sister told me that he's moving soon to another state to live with his girlfriend that lives in another state. So I'm like, so hopefully it'll be in a few months. I wish it was sooner. Maybe it will be. So once he's gone, now luckily the jerk across the street, Dancing Donnie, he's not been here since the altercation we had where she was texting us, why don't you leave my son alone? And I'm not going to get into it because I already got into it in the other video. But since then, he hasn't been here because she knows. We told her. We went down to the sheriff's department. We talked to multiple people. They told us what to do. We have security cameras. We could record and document everything he does. So she knows they're being recorded when he does something. I'm not standing there watching. But if the guy comes around, there will be cameras with voice. There's night vision. So whatever he does, and she knows he can't help himself. She knows that he's a drunk that's going to drink and start trouble. And when I have proof, what are you going to do? Plus, he's on probation and he's not supposed to be drinking, but he is. This is his third car. And within 2 weeks, he wrecked the car. He wrecked the tire and the front fender was all cracked. And there was nothing wrong with the car. It was in good shape, but he destroyed that. And he just he got arrested for drunk driving the last time, and he's not even supposed to, but I see him. He drinks, he's really drunk, he could barely stand. He goes back in the car, drives, and gets more beer or whatever, and comes back. So he's still drunk driving. He shouldn't have had a car. She went and helped him and got a car for him. I'm like, why would you do that? He wrecked the other one because he was drunk driving. He crashed into a tree or something. And now you're buying him another car. What is wrong with you? You're like an enabler. She's an enabler. She enables him to continue this bad behavior because she makes excuses for him, she covers for him, and she lies for him. And then she blames the other people that are complaining that he goes around harassing. So she's as much to blame as her crazy ass son because this wouldn't have been happening. First of all, he doesn't live there. She kicked him out and went through all that trouble to go to the courts and spend money to get him removed. And then she just lets him back again. It's stupid. Like he's just going to stay the day. Oh, he's just going to stay the weekend. Oh, he's just going to. And so we're fed up, but luckily he hasn't been back. So I don't like talking about him too much because I don't want him coming back. But she knows that we're recording, so she's probably told me you better stay away because otherwise we'll have the proof and he can go. I could show his probation officer, and that's it. But I'm sure once his probation's up, but I think it's like a 2-year probation or a year, then he'll probably come back. But either way, hopefully we can move out. We want to move out because of many factors. One, well, if my nephew's gone, that's good. But another one, we used to have a dead end where the woods were right here. But we have 2 woods. One is on the side of our backyard. Luckily, that isn't sold, so knock on wood. The other one was over towards the end of the road, but some guy bought it and he opened it up and just for him to go back and forth. And I thought he was going to get rid of the trailers that the other person was renting. They're a bit of ways, but they're still there. But he kept it and he added a few more. And I'm like, great. And he made it really cheap. So you're going to get not the greatest people. And I hate to say that. Because I know all people that live in a trailer. I mean, when I first moved to Florida with my ex-husband, we had a trailer that was his parents. When they died, we got it, and we just stayed there for 3 years because then we were going to establish ourselves with jobs and get a house, which we did. So, and it was a nice park, though. It had like a community pool and everything. It wasn't like a rundown thing like that. They're just in the woods with a bunch of really rundown trailers. The guy did fix them up somewhat, but they look crappy. And, some of the people are okay, but there's some that aren't. And they started coming back and forth. But after that altercation, then he put a stupid gate. One of those gates that are like triangles and they're see-through, and then you just go like that so you can go underneath. He did that. I'm like, what is that going to do? And he never locked it. So cars, all hours of the night. We're going in and out of there, and people. And then finally, he put a note with security cameras, and then he put a pole with a bunch of cameras facing all over. So that's helped somewhat, but he could have gotten like a solid gate and put no trespassing and security cameras and then put the cameras, and only he would have the lock. That makes a little more sense because kids were taking their motorbikes and their bicycles and going under there, and there was all kinds of trouble. And it was pretty peaceful here. So that's one factor. The other factor is my nephew, which hopefully he stays with that girl, but I'm afraid that once she spends too long with him, she's going to realize he's a problem, and then she's going to dump him, and then he'll be back here. The other problem is Dance and Donnie across the street. He's gone now, but I don't know how long he's going to stay away because, like, he's been periods of time where he's been gone for 6 months to 3 months, but then all of a sudden. And another factor is we live by the woods, and my sinuses and my husband's sinuses can't take it. I've been able to hear out of my ear for a long time. And I went to the doctor, and they flushed it out, and they gave me antibiotics, and they gave me medicine, and I tried homeopathic ways to get rid of it. It's still clogged, there's still fluid, and there's not much I can do about it. And I don't have medical, so I can't really go to an ear, nose, and throat doctor, which I'd like to see if they can clear it up. But, what are you going to do? And I'm told because my sinuses probably won't get better until we move out of here. But if I go back to Florida with the salt air, so I used to live in South Florida for a while, and I'd like to go back there. Me and my husband want to go back to Florida, but we're waiting for the house prices to go down. And then we'll finish fixing up a little bit here and there. I mean, this house, we get people wanting to buy our house all the time because we did a lot of work. This was in decent shape. It needed cosmetic stuff. So basically, when we first moved in, I painted the whole house. My husband we had floors put in. We had this really nice decorative ceiling put in with ceiling tiles that everybody loves. Everybody. Since my husband's disabled, we got a weatherization program, and you have to be approved. So you have to apply for it, you have to be approved, you have to send certain documents, and then you're on a long waiting list, sometimes 2 to 3 years. But luckily for us, it was only a year wait, and we got new windows, all except for the one in the cat's room, because that one was the only new window, because we had original 1980 windows that had the single pane glass, and they were crappy. They were like aluminum. They were really bad, like metal, and they would condensate with moisture and get all foggy, and you could like see the curtains move with the breeze, and so they weren't very energy efficient. And we needed better insulation up in the attic, so they gave us all new windows, a new door in the back, which I'm glad. We have a mud room, but that door was in good shape. All they did was weather stripping. And then they gave us a special fan in our bathroom in the back because too much moisture was going there because it's far away from the, everything, and no windows. And then they insulated the living crap out of up there. So good. They did an excellent job, I have to say. And then the guy comes back and tests everything, make sure everything's good. Our electric bill, and we got a new AC and heater. We have a central AC and central heater, all with that program. The only thing is they say you can't move within a year's time because, too many people would just be getting free stuff and then selling the house. So they don't want that, We didn't do that for that, but given all the crap that's going on around here, and it kind of sucks, But we have a giant yard that goes on for miles, but we don't even use half of it. I'm never down there. I mean, it's too big. My husband's disabled. I'm not going to be running around the yard. We don't have dogs. And we live by the woods. So this a lot of people want it because of all the work that we did. And they see the house, they come in, they're like, oh my God. So really outside, what I need to do is power wash the house, paint it, because it's just brick. So I want to paint it nice and paint the trim, and then fix the shed and paint the shed because it's got a little wood rot from the rain hitting it. And then someone's going to have a really good house. And it's on the dead end. I mean, now that that guy's done that, it's pretty good. And if they wanted to, they could probably see about purchasing the land right next to the yard so nobody else does it. I mean, you could probably, in my backyard, you could fit 2 more houses. And, but we don't use it. So, hopefully, if somebody's really, but we're waiting till the house prices comes down, and we'll fix this up a little so we can get as much as we possibly can. And then I'm going. Hopefully. Otherwise we would have stayed. You know what I mean? But my sinuses can't handle it, and my husband's sinuses can't either. So anyway, I just wanted to say hello and catch you up on that part 3. And really, that's it. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed he doesn't come back. We just live in our home and hope every day we never see his face again. And I think he'll probably stay away because of all the trouble he caused. And she knows we've had it. We have had it. And it's not like we didn't like her. We really liked her. When we first moved in, we were great. She'd be like, oh, I love you guys. We're like, oh, we love you. She'd give us a hug. She'd give us presents. I would give her presents. I would make jewelry and give it to her. If I had reviews that I had extra stuff, I would give her whatever I had. And I would watch her cat and dog. I had the keys to her house. We're good neighbors. We're the neighbors everybody wishes they had. We're peaceful, we're quiet, we're friendly, but we're not overbearing where we are always running over to your house. We'll wave, we'll say hello, we'll make a little small talk. If you need us, we're there. But we don't throw parties, we don't blast music. We're quiet, we keep our property clean and neat. I mean, we live in the woods, so there's a lot of trees, leaves. It's hard to keep up with it. But other than that, we're not troublemakers. We only have one vehicle. We don't have a bunch of cars all outside. So really, we're the neighbors people dream about. We mind our own business. We're friendly, but we keep to ourselves. And we look out for the neighborhood. If there's something odd going on, we'll let you know. And if you have pets, we look out for them. Her cat's here all the time. I keep fresh filtered water out in the front and the back for all the stray cats. And she's always here. She likes to lay on my patio furniture, go under my shed when it's raining, because the shed's on stilts, because sometimes the rain, and there's a good gap underneath, and then a little ledge with like dirt and leaves, and she goes under there and stays warm and dry. So yeah, a lot of the cats do. So anyway, that's it. I won't keep you. Please, if you haven't watched those other 2 videos, watch that. Remember to subscribe, like, and share, and leave a comment, even if it's just to say hello or ask a question, because I am being shadow banned. Now, I've been on here since 2008, 2009. I don't know. I've been on YouTube for 2008. A pretty long time I've been on YouTube. I did remove all my videos and I kept them off for like 6 months, and then I put some back and revamped my channel. I could be bigger. I'm trying to at least get to 5,000 or 8,000 subscribers. I am not trying because I don't make money off of this. I'm not monetized. I tried monetization a long time ago, and after a year, all I made was $100, because you have to really be you have to keep spitting out videos. You have to do lives. And this is just a hobby for me, and I like coming on. So if you could, it really helps me if you're subscribed and you share my videos and you like and you comment. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my videos. Bye.